Hey guys, welcome back to the 1394 project. Today we're going to change the front input shaft seal on the front of the, the front of the transmission. So I have the seal here and the O-ring. I'm going to try to focus on the lens of my finger. Anyway, so I'll show you where it's got to go here. Alright, as you can see, I get a bit of rust on this, so we're going to have to coat that up with oil, I guess, but anyway, these 4 bolts have to come out back here if it'll focus. These 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. This here collar thing will come off. There's an O-ring in there. On this piece, and there's supposed to be a seal in there as well, so we will try to fish that stuff out. I don't know, like this stuff is loose and it might pull out of there, but I'm a little bit afraid of what bad things will happen if we pull that out. So we're just going to take this off this way and try to place that seal in the O-ring that way, and if that doesn't work, then we'll try something else. But it looks almost like there's like black RTV or something. I don't know if you guys can see or not right there, so I don't know if someone's tried to do this before or what, but this whole area was covered in oil and grease and stuff, and the clutch is over there still covered in oil and grease and stuff. So anyway, we want to tighten it up a little bit so it's not making a mess and leaking and whatnot. Alright, so apparently I wasn't recording. I thought I was, but whatever. So I ground down this socket a little bit more, and I was able to get in there and loosen off the 4 bolts that hold that collar on. So now we can just see if we can get it pulled out of there. I'm not sure if we can or not. It doesn't seem like it anyway. Alright, let me see if we can put some muscle behind it and wiggle it and just see what happens. I ended up getting this piece off, as you can obviously tell. What I ended up doing was taking 2 of these holes, you can see one right there, and I just took the 2 opposite of each other and I threaded them 5/16 course, and after I did that I was able to put a bolt in either side and just one side at a time push it out with the bolts, and that worked pretty good. I was able to get it to turn first, so I was able to turn it just a little bit so that the bolts weren't pushing against the holes for the threads on the other side. So it was just pushing against bare metal, and it seemed to work all right like that. So I ended up putting this on the lathe and just cleaning it up a little bit. It's not perfect, but I think it'll do. So we got the new O-ring already installed on the edge of this. It's a brand new O-ring, so we'll put a bunch more grease on there when we go to put it back on. But first thing we got to do here is we're going to put a new seal on right in there. So this here's going to go over this shaft that you guys can see. You guys can't see the end of the shaft in the shot. I can only get one part of it, but ideally I'd have a long, maybe piece of pipe or something like that to put over the shaft and all the way down to drive the seal in, but I didn't have that. I had this piece of pipe that was short, and I bored out the center of it on the lathe so it would fit over this. So I'm hoping I'll be able to kind of put it like that and just tap around it with the hammer and drive the seal in. But I don't know, we'll try it and see kind of how it goes first. I don't want to mess up the seal because I guess first of all, I don't have another seal to put in its place. I'd have to order another one. And secondly, the seal was like, I think it was $50. So it's a TC 456510 seal, which doesn't seem like anything special to me. There's no other numbers on it. So anyway, the seal's got to go. Oh, it's a tight fit over those splines. So we'll have to put something over those splines so we don't damage the seal going over it. So I'm going to do that right now, and we'll get back to you when I at least got the seal in this general area. Alright, so this is what I come up with. I got electrical tape over these splines here, and I got some Silglide grease. So we'll just put a nice coat over it, and hopefully that'll be sufficient. So once it gets past these splines, we should be alright. There. Now we'll get the seal ready and slide it over. You guys couldn't see none of that anyway, it's not in focus. How about that? Is that better? Alright, here goes nothing. There we go. We'll put a little bit of sealant around that seal too. There we go. New tube. Gee. Spread it around a bit. Let me get a little hammer and try tapping it in. It's sticking in the bottom a little bit too much, but hopefully we can just hit the top and it'll pop out at the bottom and straighten itself up. Of course, all I got around is a claw hammer. Oh yeah, she's going good. Pushing some sealer out there. think that's pretty good. Maybe just a touch on that side. I'm trying to work around the camera here. I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit off camera. My battery's dying anyway. Alright, I got that seal in there looking great. It is flush all the way around. I had a whole whack of seal glide here on the inside to make sure nothing happened to the inside of that seal going in there too, so I'm happy with that. Now we're just going to coat up this thing with a bunch of seal glider on that O-ring and install that back on the tractor, and that'll be it for this task, replacing the seal and O-ring on the front input shaft of the transmission on the Hydrashift tractor here. So one more thing, I just got this on and sucked it down. I used 1.5 inch bolts to start with, then I switched to the correct inch bolts, but I switched out from the regular hex head to the Allen key socket head style, and I switched the lock nuts out from the split style to the Nord lock, just because that's what I prefer on kind of more critical components, I guess, that aren't easily accessible after the fact. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.